Okay, just before I flicked on record, that goose ran out and then ran straight back in. It was all very dark, you know. It's all very dark everywhere we go at the minute. Oh, crikey, trying to keep the geese happy in this flock down has been a nigh on nightmare. So, anyway, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is where you are, and welcome to another episode on the Annoyed Dad channel. Today, we're just going to run through and we'll do a bit of an update of everything. And Happy New Year. See, there's Mr. Gobbler, he made it through. Isn't that right, Mrs. Turkle? Yeah. Come, 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 come. Okay, it's still early morning. It's only just gone 8 o'clock in the morning, so they've been quite quiet with us. But you can see everywhere there is just mud. Lots of it. Leading up to Christmas, there was not a lot happening but rain. It was just constant rain the whole time. And it was, oh, it's horrible, a nightmare. So there were so many videos you might have seen I put up onto the social media channels, either facebook.com/annoyedad1 or Twitter @annoyedad, or I don't know what else. We've got some others. That I had all of these videos planned to do over the Christmas holidays and all these little projects I wanted to get done. But I wasn't able to do them because it was raining all the time and I can't get my cameras out in the rain, unfortunately. But that might be changing soon. I'll have to wait and see. But anyway, these guys you're looking at here inside this cage, these were hatched from our laying flock. Our laying flock, as you may know, is inside of that building at the minute because it's flock down. So yeah, these guys are hatched out of them. And you can see there's a good mix in there. So we got some Moran, we got some light Sussex, we've got some normal brown hen type things, but they're coming on well, won't be too much longer, and they will be slaughtered to go into the freezer. So they are our meat birds that we're growing. I really shouldn't have started these. I should have waited to see if there was going to be a lockdown for the chickens, and then when realizing that yes, there was going to be a lockdown, then I really should have gone and said, right, I'm not going to start these ones, we're not going to have any this year. But I didn't, unfortunately. Actually, I just thought that there's probably some guys out there who haven't got the first idea of what I'm on about when I say flock down and other things like that. Birds are in lockdown. Your poultry are all in lockdown because of the prevalence of avian influenza. So there's been lots of outbreaks of H5N1. I think it's H5N8 as well, I can't remember exactly. But there's two main types and there's been lots of outbreaks of it, and to try to curb these outbreaks, they're placing all the birds into lockdown, which means they all have to be undercover, they all have to be split away from the wild birds. And it's not too bad around this area, so if you look at a map of the UK, we're down in the bottom right hand corner. The nearest one to us has been Southampton, which again at the map of the UK is roughly in the middle at the bottom where that little Isle of Wight is. And then most of it appears to be up in Lincolnshire. They've had loads of outbreaks up there, unfortunately, and quite a few in Scotland as well. I'm not going to go in and film the layers flock because it's too dark in there. As we've realised from all of the lack of eggs we're getting, because I might have to put up a light in there. So there are guys in there, but again, it's too dark. Now we've got the car here. We moved Uncle Pete's car and we put it there. For the simple reason, it's quieter to run that to charge up the solar batteries than it is to run the generator. I broke the tractor. I admit that was me. Yeah, I done that. Hands up, you know, I done that. I was driving out of here the other day and it made it about as far as there. And it got a nasty tap in the engine. I was like, oh dear, what's that? And it was like, boom, 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 boom. Oh dear, something's gone wrong. Boom, 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 boom. And it stopped. I was like, oh crikey, it ran out of fuel. So I gave it a check and it was a little bit low. So I gave it a bit of a top up and trying to get the fuel back into these things like it's old 1960s technology. It's a diesel engine. So trying to bleed it through is an absolute nightmare. So I bled it all through and I undone all of the cylinders, but I was only able to see two of them when I was trying to start it. And as I was trying to start it, you know, they were going with fuel and that. So I put everything back together and it still wouldn't start. So then I had to pull it apart again, and I realised that injector number three, I don't know if it's 3 or 1, but this one here, where it goes up and into the engine, There's no fuel coming out of it. So this here is the Sims injection pump, just there. So I think there's a problem with the third one just in there. I have had that cover off. I know that there are some tractor nuts who will say, oh, you shouldn't have done that.
It was at this point that my microphone decided to break on me and decide not to record any more audio for this and the next little clip. But don't worry, it does come back in at the end again. So what I just basically said was that I may have to look to get that little injector pump refurbished, because to buy them new, they're about £400 or so. And I don't really want to be doing that. Plus, we've got other stuff going on in this area and I need everything cleared out the way. So here we go. We are through into the orchard. And as you can see, the orchard now is actually really, really clear. There's not a lot around that's blocking light or your line of sight or anything else like that. This is one of the other cages which has got more of the meat birds which we hatched out, including some of the banthams and 2 turkeys that are in there. But there was just too many of them to all go into the one cage. So as we look around the orchard, you may remember, if you've been watching us for quite some time, that there was plants all the way along here. And as I walk along and turn around again, you'll be able to see all the way along there was also more plants, big bushes. These were the red currants, the black currants, the white currants, and the other fruit bushes that were in there. So they have now all been lifted, they've all been moved, and they've all been moved out to the plant nursery, which is just out on the other side there. And we'll go and have a look in there in a minute. And my microphone actually decided to work in there, which is quite good. So yeah, you know, this week I've been able to break a tractor and break a microphone. In this area is where I had the rhubarb, and I dug up 2 crowns of rhubarb, but I had about 6 or 7 down here, but I just cannot spot them. They should be starting to grow, but I know in here they were slightly slower than anywhere else. So I'm just hoping that they're going to start growing again. If you do spot any rhubarb, pause it, let me know the times, and like a timestamp and whereabouts on the screen you actually spot the rhubarb, because I can't see it yet. Anyway, back to my microphone.
So this is the start of the plant nursery. As we mean to go on, hopefully it's looking quite good. I have seen worse. You can see I've got quite a few pots. These were the pots that I was explaining that we got out of the place that grew tomatoes. So if I put them there, or if I put my weddy next to it, so as you can get some idea of size. I'm a size 12 foot, by the way. You know what they say about men with big feet, big shoes. So here's the bees. You might have seen the shorts we done on New Year's Day, the bees flying around. They're not flying just at the minute. I do need to get in there and just check their stores and make sure that they've still got enough. Here we got gooseberry bushes. These were in with the chickens last year. These were what my dad brought me. I explained before about them. But they didn't really do anything last year because they were in with the chickens and they were kind of shaded and it didn't really work out very well. So there's 5 of them in here. So fingers crossed we're going to get plenty of gooseberries. And what was I saying about the rhubarb? There's the rhubarb. So as I said, I split the crowns. We've got some there that's still just starting to go. There's a big crown there. So that's not too bad. I'm quite looking forward to that. I know you can force them. I know I can place a bin bag on the top of them. But I planted them this year. I want them to slowly grow. I don't want to force anything this year. Maybe next year. So you'll see I've got some extra trees here. These come out of the orchard. We've done the big orchard of all of the extra fruit plants, and we've done the chickens where the chickens are, which is about over here. Oh, I've got a dirty finger. And we've done what I call the secret garden, which is a bit you don't see very often, which is down there. And then we've got orchard 2, which is this bit around here at the back on the other side there. We haven't done that bit yet. So we've done down here, and you can see everything is starting to spring into life. There we go. So this could be blackcurrant, red currant, anything. But the problem we've got is where they've been in the orchard. Let's find a classic example. There's a classic example straight there in front of us. So we go around this way. Where they've been in the orchard, they've been struggling to get light because of the trees and everything else like that. So they've all grown over to one side to try to get to that light. Like if you look at these ones here, look at that, that's almost laid down on the ground. So that needs severe pruning. Well, they all need pruning anyway. You can see that one there. So what's going to happen, as you can see is happening already, they're going to lay down on the ground from where they were looking for the light in their old position, and then they're going to put up all of the new growth. Now this is last year's growth from where I cleared parts of the orchard so it actually got some light, and you can see where it's coming up here, and this is new growth from last year. This isn't this year's growth, but that's growing straight up. So what's going to happen is you're going to end up with half the plant which is laid down on the ground, and then half of its sticks are growing straight up. You might quite often see that if you go for a walk in a woodland and there's an old tree that's fallen over and then parts of it start to grow up again. That's what these are going to be like. It's going to look horrible. So they all need pruning to get them back into the ideal shape of a bush. Now there was a bush which had grown naturally into an ideal shape, and I thought, oh yeah, I must show that one on video. But now I can't remember which bush it is. Let's take a look. Well, this one here, that one there looks all right, don't it? It needs a little bit of a prune to it, but that's not too bad at all. It should be the goblet sort of shape. So it's thin at the bottom and it comes up and it's a nice big bushy bit at the top. There we go, ideal. So there's a couple of extra trees also came out of the orchards, as mad as it might sound, but they're just whips at the minute, so I might have to get something in there just to hold them and give them a bit of guidance going up. And also we have got something else which is planned, which is going to go, I've explained before, down in the bottom corner there we've got holly. I've got more holly on the go in the propagator at home, but just down the bottom there's going to be something coming up which is going to go across here basically. We'll explain that in some upcoming videos, but we've got something which is going in there which I'm hoping is going to work out to be quite good and quite exciting. So I will leave it there. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a brilliant 2022. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Leave me any ideas down below, anything you think I ought to be doing, I should be doing, I could be doing, or I haven't done properly. I don't mind. And until next time, bye bye.